Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about kind of a strange time in the hobby for me, and it's a time that a lot of you will get to at some point if you do breeding projects, and that is the time when you need to downsize, when you need to let some of your adult snakes go and refocus your time, your money, your efforts, what you're doing, and make sure you're doing things right for you and for the animals. So in today's video I've got another helper as usual, and this is a really cool snake. He's a acid 100% het for albino and clown. I don't know if the phone's focusing well, but you can tell he's got all these cool little het markers around his head and on his body. So a couple of years time, who knows, maybe I'll do a clutch with him and see what comes out. But anyway, basically, if you're like me, I'm one of those people who's a bit like a magpie, and I collect snakes over time. I think that'll make a cool project one day. And then eventually you get to this point where you've got all these different snakes, these different projects running. Some of them you're not even breeding them. You're literally holding them for a year or two later down the line, and you realize that you've got 10 different projects when really you should be focusing on 2 or 3, and that it doesn't really help you. I mean, especially if you're trying to make any money, I was going to say, but I mean, even if you just want them as pets or just as fun projects, it still doesn't help to be too diverse in your projects. You know, having lots and lots and lots of projects, I guess it's for people who are running a business. So in this video, I wanted to talk about, you know, why I've done this thing, why I've let some of my snakes go. And I'd be lying if I was saying that the current economic climate and financial pressures don't have something to do with it. So I got distracted by the snake poking me in the face. Yeah, so financial pressures do have something to do with it, but also it's kind of a good thing to do to clean house and keep your projects in order if you do breeding long term. So before I get too far into the video, I want to kind of go over what actually happens when you downsize. If you're breeding, even if you're a small hobby breeder, I want to show you what the results will be like and just talk about why it is a good idea to do this every once in a while. And I wanted to do this with a couple of slides and just kind of visualize it, because I find that particularly helpful. If I don't visualize things, sometimes I don't understand them quite as well. It's probably really simple to you, but me, I do forget stuff. So let's just take a quick look at a couple of slides and see what does happen. So first of all, as I already established in a different video, profits scale the more breeding you do, and understandably, the more breeding pairs of ball pythons you have, the more things will change for you. So as your number of breeding pairs increases, you get, on the left here, obviously you get falling costs in proportion to the number of animals. You know, wholesale substrate is going to be cheaper. Racks, one big rack might end up cheaper than 2 small ones, depending on the company you get it from, shipping, etc. But you also get a falling amount of free time, and that's one of the things that kind of bothers me. Because I'm not a business, I'm not a big breeder, I never will be, and I don't have that intention. So I do like to have some free time and potentially other stuff to do as well. At the same time, on the right here, you get rising profits, rising costs overall. Again, that's a big one for a lot of people at the moment if you're not a business, but you also get the increased likelihood of becoming a business. So, you know, if you aren't trying to become a business, like I said, a lot of projects, that might not be a good idea for you. Now, when we head over to the next slide, I want to kind of show you what can happen if you refocus and what's happened with me. I've gone from lots of different projects, like you can see this second one from the left here is a sonnet spider, I think that I made years ago. And I was interested in doing all kinds of pewtermorphs like silver bullet, stuff like that. Maybe producing some 8 balls, all that stuff with cinnamon and you know, stuff that's just not it's just not that popular anymore. Sorry for the chair squeaking, as it always does in these videos. So I got rid of all that kind of stuff, all those kinds of projects. Second from the right here, you can see Spot. He's one of my spot nose pastel clown breeders, and I've gotten rid of most of my spot nose stuff as well. I got rid of some butter and lesser and stuff like that along the way. Far right, you can see I've got a hurricane there, female. I got rid of my hurricane albino project because, again, it's just too many projects for me. You know, it's too much to handle. And anytime I feel like the time I can spend looking after the snakes is threatened, or the space I can give them is threatened, then I will downsize. So I've gone from the top there, lots of different projects, some of which I was doing absolutely nothing with, and that's my fault, not the snakes. So I've sold some of them to people. A couple of them have gone to a good friend of mine, Paul, who lives a couple towns over, and he's going to breed them, and they'll have happy, healthy lives where they actually get to breed. And there's no point in me just keeping them and having them sit there and not having, you know, the enrichment of breeding. And I've gone down to 2 projects. That's a coral glow leopard pastel clown there on the right, and a pastel bongo spot nose heifer clown on the left. So I'm probably going to do, and I've got acid stuff going on. So from now on, I'm probably going to want to be known just for acid and clown combos and bongo clown combos. I also got rid of my piebald stuff, which a lot of people would say is a huge mistake, but we'll see. And that's what I'm doing. And then if you imagine these in like time slots, right? If you're looking at the top, let's divide each of those projects into an hour every night. Just in the, I know it's not that realistic, it's not always like that, but if we divide it like that, we're going to say 5 hours spent looking after different projects, some of which I'm not even allowing them to breed right now. I've dwindled it down to 2 projects, that's 2 hours time, and then in every other square, which we're going to use to represent an hour of free time, I could be doing stuff like improving my online presence, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Facebook and Instagram I've neglected for a while, and this is, you know, all stuff that could help you if you breed. Making friends and contacts, I think that's something we forget about a lot in the hobby because we're all competitive, and there's a lot of kind of pettiness, especially in the hobby over here in the UK, so that's something to stay away with. Focus on making good contacts, people you enjoy talking to instead. I think that's good. And another hour for enjoying other hobbies. If your snake hobby dominates your life, the more it dominates your life, the less you're going to enjoy it. It really is that simple. It's just going to be too time consuming, and I don't want to take the enjoyment out of it. I do want to have unrelated hobbies, if you like. So, now we've had a look at those, I just wanted to expand a tiny bit more on one point there, and I wanted to talk about how refocusing can improve your reputation as a small breeder. And this is just a really simple thing to think about. So, my name's Will. It's really not that advantageous for me if I do produce a clutch or 2 every year and want to sell my babies, and other people are saying to each other, oh yeah, Will, I know him, he's got, maybe bongo, maybe this, maybe piebald, a few other bits, can't remember in particular. But I mean, that doesn't help me at all, because if I've told people about tons of different projects and I'm not really producing much specialised out of each one, it just gets vague and my reputation gets vague. And the same will go for you. If you are a small breeder and you can narrow it down to 2 or 3 projects that you really put all your energy into and make the coolest outcomes possible, you will get known for those 2 or 3 different projects. So me, I'm happier being known just for bongo and acid, morphs, combinations, and clown, I guess. So that is what best fits me, and I think that's what's going to be the most useful use of my time and effort and money, and you know, I'll be able to keep those few projects to a higher standard and better welfare than if I had lots. So I hope this has all made sense to you today. I'm not rambling too much because I have been off YouTube for a while. I've had a project deadline at work and I'm a bit exhausted, to be honest. Quickly before I go, shout out to Tarantula Ramblings. That is a YouTube channel that has supported this channel from the very start. If you like tarantulas, if you're into inverts, do check out Tarantula Ramblings. But as always, I will try to get back next week or the week after with a video. I think from now on my videos are going to be every 2 weeks. But then again, please do like and subscribe, please do comment and get involved. Thank you very much.